let me talk to you a little bit about my process, because I feel like it's pretty consistent, and maybe you will be able to relate to this too as artists and creators. The first step is procrastination. Just get as far away from the work as you possibly can. Fear it like a rabid dog, and back away from it. Think about it a lot, maybe build up some anxiety around the work, but then just ignore it as much as you possibly can. There is nothing scarier than a blank page. There is nothing scarier than a blank canvas or any kind of workspace that is not yet filled with something. I used to have this fear. Well, I grew up doing martial arts. I used to have this fear doing martial arts. You'd be scared to step into the mat, to step into the ring with someone, up until the point you threw that first punch, you grabbed hold of that person, whatever you were doing, up until that point, and then the fear would go away and the kind of training would take over. So the fear response to not starting yet is natural, I think, and that is definitely the first step for me, procrastination. And sometimes that procrastination can last an hour, sometimes it can last a minute, sometimes it can last a day, sometimes a week, sometimes a month, sometimes the procrastination wins and a piece of work never gets produced because you just lose faith in it, you don't try it. When I do manage to get over that procrastination, it feels like a race to get something, to capture something, to get it down on the page, to get it into the camera, to get it onto the editing software. It feels like a race to get it in there. And for me, it's all a bit haphazard, because what I tend to do first is film something and then go back and edit it. With stuff like this, when I'm just talking to camera, it's not so bad because I can just come and speak and I don't need to worry too much. But there's other projects that I've got in the back of my mind where it's like a bit more of a considered piece. It's a bit more of a rounded, scripted, planned thing. And I'm like, can I do this? Am I able to do this? Do I have the skills? Do I have the equipment? Do I have the time? Do I have the knowledge? All of the questions about my own ability. But then it's a race for me. It's a race to get as much down on the page, the figurative page, as possible, as quickly as possible. And then begins the cycle of, this is great, I hate this, this is never going to work, can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, this bit's okay, no, I think this will work, okay, let's get it out. That tends to be the process. As soon as I get my hands on the equipment, I start to feel the shape of the thing, start to get an understanding of what maybe it could be. And this is part of the challenge with some of these projects where I'm thinking about what it might be, is that lots of my ideas come in the editing process, in the post-production process, where it's like, but I can put this here, I can put that there, and I can build this structure around it, or I can get this B-roll or whatever that might be. So I get my hands on the thing and I start to build that up and try to get into this state of this flow state of just editing. Now, editing at its base is very simple, right? I think I saw Ben Kaluza talk about this. It's like, show people the right thing at the right time for the right amount of time. That's what editing is. But at the same time, there is an artistry to it. I remember thinking, editors of films, I kind of really underestimated the skill that was involved with that, because I just thought they're just, it's scripted, it's filmed, you cut the scene, you cut, and you kind of cut and paste all those things together until it matches the script. But my gosh, it's hard to explain how editing can change things, how the pace of an edit can change things, how things are cut, the transitions, just everything about it. Everything about an edit can change completely the look and feel of a film, and I really love that process. And I love, editing the piece I've done, especially where I've, really tried something new and tried to create pace and try to create a feeling within a piece of work. So then we get into the edit. So we film everything at a pace. Then we get into the editing, and one of the things that I'm probably bad for is I tend to put work out quite quickly. When I actually get into that state, I'll put it out, sometimes too soon, sometimes slightly unfinished, sometimes it's like, yeah, that'll do. Because I'm afraid that I'll lose faith in it. I'm afraid that I'll lose faith in the work halfway through and it will just never get somewhere, so I kind of put it out there. Again, it's another thing that I fear with these bigger projects where it's like, you know, when I'm doing something that maybe someone else has written, or I'm doing something that someone else is involved in, it's like I don't want to let them down. I don't want to put something out that's unfinished at all. So that's another thing that kind of sits on my mind. And then the work goes out there, and then it's a process of repeating itself. We refresh statistics, we refresh things to see if people are talking about it, see if people are responding to it, see if people are getting anything out of it. And sometimes when they're not, or it's not getting the views, you feel sadness. Sometimes if it is getting the views, you still feel sadness. Sometimes you get the views and you feel good about it. You know, it's such a crazy set of things that can go through your mind when you're creating something. And for me, what I've discovered is my emotions are always like really close to the surface. They're always just slightly under my skin. And just the slightest thing can, you know, bring those emotions to the forefront. You know, the slightest thing can make me feel sad, or, you know, the slightest thing can make me feel euphoric, or the slightest thing can make me feel angry. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do and working on this year, is like leveling that out, the ice baths, the working out, the getting more food consumption right, getting more content consumption right. Is all about leveling out and not allowing things to kind of control me like a puppet on a string, not allowing my emotions to take over a situation. I think it's good to have such easy access to those emotions, but it's not something, I want to be in control of that. I don't want other things to be in control of that. I don't want other people to be in control of that. So this week has been one of those weeks. The reason I'm talking about procrastination is because this week has been one of those kind of procrastinating weeks. I look back and I have got some stuff done, but what I've done is I've chosen the kind of easy stuff, dare I say it, the stuff that I kind of care about slightly less, where it's like, let me just do this video. It's, you know, I've got 3 or 4 videos done and that's great, but the stuff that I care about, stuff that I really want to get right, I've procrastinated on, and it all comes back to this fear of getting it wrong, fear of starting, fear of the blank page. And that's what we need to get over. Weirdly, again, I have this. The week before was, you know, super productive and good, and then this week has been less productive, and hopefully it all just balances out. But what's interesting to me is I saw someone the other day, and they said their goal was to get 12 long-form YouTube videos out this year, and it put things in perspective for me, because my target's to get like 300 or something. You know, it's like trying to get roughly a video a day out. You know, not the same kind of video, not the same kind of effort into each video. And I'm probably not hitting that target, but you know, in terms of long form, you know, my target is high. I really want to push the content out. I really want to make not just a lot of content, but good quality content. And I think there's so much out there. Sometimes that's the problem, is like, what do I choose next? What do I go on to next? But yeah, it's really interesting to me that some people's target is like 1 video a month, which is fine. I'm not criticising that, by the way, because I think anybody producing anything is hard, and I applaud anyone. And you know, if you're doing 12 YouTube videos, you might also be doing 100 you know, TikTok videos and 1 million songs. You might be creating in other ways. You might have a full-time job. I don't know what's going on in people's lives. It was just interesting to me that I go, okay, if I plan for 300 videos and I do 200 this year, that's still fucking 200 videos in a year. My gosh, that is still a lot. That is still an achievement, is it not? So procrastination is something that I've got to work on. Being less worried about starting and just touching the pen to the page, just grabbing some footage, just doing something. I went to an event the other day and I just filmed a few shots of different things. I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you. I didn't go there, I went with my camera, but I didn't necessarily go with the intention of like, I'm gonna make something out of this, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In fact, I forgot to put my memory card in my camera, and I ended up having to buy another one when I went to the event. I got to the event, I took some shots, and I didn't really think anything of the shots. I did one thing that I was proud of. I walked up to the DJ and I asked her whether she minded if I got some shots of her DJing for this video. So I kind of, in my head, I was like, maybe there's something in this. And it took a little bit of, took confidence for me to go up there and ask her to do that. And she was like, yeah, it's fine. Went up and did that. And I put together this promo, and I was like, wow, I really like this promo. It's like a really good portfolio piece for me in terms of editing. And I just had no intentions to do anything. And I think I've got to do more of that. I think sometimes we think, you know, for me, I think a film has got to be, or a piece of content has got to be this planned thing. It's got to be purposeful. It's got to be this. But fuck it, if I'm going to Birmingham, why can't I not just take footage of Birmingham and make like a Birmingham City promo video? Why can't I do that? I fucking can. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. Like the subject of a video can be anything. Can be anything. So, you know, this camera needs to be on me at all times. I remember when I was younger, I loved magic. I loved doing magic. And even at the age of kind of 12, 13, I could attract like a little bit of a crowd of people. If I was in a place I was doing tricks, I was really confident in showing people tricks and whatever. And I could just, you know, draw a crowd of people around me. And I was good at it. I was good at it. I loved it. I still love magic now. I still love picking stuff up and trying to do stuff every now and then. But I had a pack of cards on me at all times. And I think that's what I've got to be with my camera. I've got to have it on me at all times. I've got to be filming stuff all times. There is always opportunity to create. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Less procrastination, more creation. Let's get it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to, you can become a member, or you can super thanks me for this video. There's ways to donate if you have the money and you want to support the content. If you don't, that's absolutely fine, but do hit that subscribe button, because I'd love to have you as part of the community. See you on the next one.